Topping your news this evening, at a public hearing to lift the statute of limitations on sexual abuse, the alleged victims of sexual abuse at the hands of Archbishop Anthony Apuron all testified in support of the bill, as well as continued criticism over the church's perceived lack of empathy towards the alleged abuse. Here's more.
Not one person showed up to testify against a measure that, if passed, would eliminate the statute of limitations for sexual abuse victims to have their day in court. Who did show up, though, were the alleged victims of sexual abuse at the hands of Archbishop Anthony Apuron. Walter Denton, Roland Sondia, Roy Quintanilla, and the brother of the late Sonny Canata all showed up to show strong support towards the bill.
Institutions typically remain silent, stall, delay, and use every dilatory tactic in the book to wear down an accuser, forcing him or her to give up or just go away. The bill before us will at least level the playing field somewhat, giving victims like me a chance to confront abusers and to have our day in court.
Senators, he raped me. I wanted him to admit what he had done to me, as well as to the other victims that sit right here before you. I want to face him in a court of law and ask him, why did you do this to me? He needs to face his accusers and answer to the victims of his crimes.
I support the lifting of the statute of limitation on child sex abuse so that victims of sex abuse will know and have a tool to fight back and to find justice. We need it not only for existing victims, but future victims as well.
Because remember, healing cannot begin without justice. Healing cannot begin without justice. Apuron and all other abusers need to be held accountable for their actions, for the pain and lifetime suffering of my brother, me and my family.
It has been over 2.5 months since Quintanilla first alleged that Archbishop Anthony Apuron sexually abused him in the 1970s. And at the dismay of the remaining victims and their families, no local investigation has been done. And Roland Sondia says no one from the Vatican has even contacted him.
No one from the Vatican has made any attempts to contact me, despite false reports from the Chancery that they have reached out to the victims. The acknowledgement by Archbishop Hahn yesterday should have been the first thing he did upon arriving on island 7 long weeks ago. Instead, it took a lot of pushing, picketing, protesting, and eventually a defamation lawsuit to extract a positive response from him and the church. If this is what it will take just to get this meager response yesterday, imagine the arduous and difficult road ahead of us victims.
GUAM's Apostolic Administrator Archbishop Savio Taifai Han called a press conference yesterday to publicly acknowledge the alleged victims for the first time. The conference comes days after Han was named in a defamation lawsuit against the alleged victims. Catholic blogger Tim Rohr repeatedly told senators at the hearing that the world is watching how GUAM and the Vatican handle Apuron's case.
There is a chance that should this law pass and be enacted into law, that Archbishop Anthony Sablon Apuron, one of the few bishops in the world who was a member of this organization and who was a major player in its mad scheme, will be brought to justice. And the Vatican will finally see that this hiding and moving and secreting about of those who abuse and ravage and rape our children will not only not be tolerated, but will be pursued and prosecuted and punished by every possible legal means.
Senator Frank Uggan Jr. called a continuation of the public hearing. The next hearing is scheduled for Monday, August 1st at 10 a.m. For PNC News, I'm Tim Blasmacet.